everybody. Welcome in to a brand new week here on Longshore McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Barry traveling with Troy baseball today. Early travel plans on a Monday morning. So, hey, he's been on the road quite a bit. So, Barry will be back with us tomorrow, and looking forward to getting his take on, everything that happened over the weekend, looking ahead as well. So, that should be good. But today we got a lot lined up for you here on the program on a rainy Monday. And it has been raining for like 24 hours, it seems like. Still is. Hopefully that gets on out of here. I believe it will. We'll give you the live Instatrack forecast later on. No, we won't. Weather not our forte. But do have a lot to talk about. Obviously, Saturday's basketball in San Antonio. A lot of conversation and discussion about that. Looking ahead to tonight's game, the Braves actually did win a game. They have actually put a victory in the win column, albeit just one, but they did win a game. Unfortunately, they lost the series at home to the Miami Marlins. So I believe they're 1-8 at the moment, something like that. So we'll get into that a little bit today as well. I'm sure we'll get some of that on our River Region Straw chat line. And it's Masters Week. That's right. It is Masters Week. We'll be talking a lot about the first major of the year. That will, of course, start on Thursday. But all of the practice round and pre-tournament festivities and things of that nature will get underway before all of that. So, yeah, a lot to discuss, a lot to get into today on the program. Glad you are here. Glad that the chat line is up and going as well. Ty up early today with the first good morning. Says he's having some phone issues, but hopefully he'll get that knocked out. Chris the Bammer, yep, he's ready to go. Wanting to know what PM has to say. The Braves, yeah, good stuff there. Casino Greg is in as well. We'll get more into to Casino Greg. I know he's very excited this morning. And, of course, Bill from Baltimore also up early with us as well. So looking forward to getting into all of that here this morning on the program. And so we'll be ready to go. You can, of course, email us, longshoreandmcknight@gmail.com. That's our Marker Eats Exquisite Jewelry email inbox. And you can email us on our River Region Straw chat line. That's up and going right now as we speak. Bill from Baltimore said, heard this yesterday where Auburn and Florida are even, and it's just a matter of coming up Florida in the second half. I think Auburn's schedule and health just caught up to them. I would say their health caught up to them, Bill, more than their schedule. I think coaches will tell you playing schedules like that, they believe is advantageous, particularly during tournament time. I think the start of the second half, the first 4 minutes, I had a buddy of mine text me that Saturday night, said, watch out the first 4 minutes. We'll see. But I thought Florida, the way they just jumped on Auburn early in the second half was huge. And, of course, led them on to a victory. And as for Duke and Houston, what a finish. Down 9, 30 seconds to go. Whew, man, they're going to be thinking about that one up at Duke, Cameron Indoor for quite some time. Very, very strange finish there. One you wouldn't expect a Duke team to have to endure, but it was quite a week. And I will say, there's some great players I've seen in this tournament, the entire tournament. But I got to tell you, Walker Clayton for Florida, 34 points, guy in his face all night. He probably was the difference. Would they have won without him? Who knows? That's kind of like going Cam Newton. Would they have won the national title without Cam? Who knows? But I don't think Florida's in the championship game without him. He's certainly the best player I have seen so far. Kirk, that's a great pull there. On that. Well, Clayton was the difference. Let me tell you what we got going on here today. We're going to kick things off here in just a moment with our man Mike Griffith from Dawg Nation and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Always enjoy having Griff on. He's going to join us here momentarily on the program. So always looking forward to that. More Final Four reaction, championship game tonight, where we are on the contest, and your thoughts about the championship game. Spring football going on all across the SEC. I mentioned Masters Week, and of course, the Braves. It was good news for Auburn baseball. We'll get into that as well from over the weekend as well. So we'll certainly touch on that. Josh Harris, the Moneyline magician, will join us at the top of the second hour. We'll also have the Phantoms Daily Dawg. Looking forward to that today. Gurn Jr.'s Victoryland topic might do that a little early today, Chris, so be ready. Since we have so much going on in the second hour, we might have to get to Vern's 777 topic wheel a little bit earlier today. We're also going to go through some Masters memories. We'll touch on that later today as well in the program. And we'll also have another visit from a very special guest that joined us last week that has made a name for herself in the ESPN Tournament Bracket Challenge. She made an appearance here on the program last week. A lot of people were very impressed with that. And we're going to see where she is today. After the games were played over the weekend, where does she stand? We'll see later today when she joins us. That's my daughter, of course, if you don't remember. And she was in a quite impressive place of all the entrants, to $24.5 million. She was in the 95th position when we spoke to her last week. We'll see where she is this week. Mike Griffith about to join us here momentarily. We're going to hook him up, of course, with AJC and Dawg Nation. Spring football, of course, in full steam. Also, a lot of talk continuing about NIL. We've heard athletic directors from all over the place talking about it, and their thoughts and their stances of where it's going. And, of course, want to get his thoughts on the Final Four tonight, the championship game. So we'll see how that plays out. As I mentioned, Barry is traveling with Troy today. He'll join us again tomorrow. I'm just bringing this up because I brought it up last week. And I'm just curious what people might think about it. I got a little reaction, but after the fact, in Auburn losing, what about Bruce Pearl's future? Does he come back? Has he still got a lot of gas in the tank? 65 years old, had a birthday a couple of weeks ago. Probably in his mind, feeling he put the best team he's ever had on the floor this season. Had a big schedule, played some big-time opponents. Went to Hawaii, played in Hawaii. There again, played some big opponents. Would he think about maybe stepping down? Did he push all of his chips into the table, the center of the table this year? I don't know. I'm just wondering. I positioned it. I positioned it last week as if he won it all. And I wondered, good way to kind of ride out into the sunset. You win the national championship. What should have come back for? Go out on top. But fell a little short. Couldn't win it all. What do you think? It wouldn't surprise me. Look, nobody's told me anything. I don't have any inside information. I'm just throwing it out there. Guy's been coaching a long time. Been coaching a long time. And it wouldn't shock me. Would not shock me. And I wonder if Auburn fans feel that way. Do they think it might be time for Bruce to step down? I'm just wondering. And I thought it last week if that possibly could happen. I hope it doesn't. I'd like to see Bruce hang around a little bit longer. I'd like to see him hang around a little longer. But it wouldn't shock me. His son's on his staff, maybe an easy transition. I know it's got to be tough. I know he's got to be tough. And maybe he's just getting over the disappointment of not going all the way. Had a lead at halftime. There, I mentioned the first 3-4 minutes of that second half. Man, I'm not sure Auburn knew what hit them. Let's take a quick timeout. Trying to get Mike Griffith lined up here on the program. Having a little technical difficulty. Let me see if I can communicate with Mike and get this straightened out here on a wet and rainy Monday. Keep the chats coming. Keep the emails coming as well. A lot to talk about today. A lot of guests lined up as well. On a rainy Monday here, Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Spring into savings at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, America's best-selling truck, the F-150. You can get every new 2024 at 2.9% APR for 72 months. How about an F-150 Lightning up to $15,000 off plus 0% for 75 months? The ever-popular Ford Bronco Sport as low as $25,990. The Ford Explorer, it started the SUV craze. An all-wheel drive with leather as low as $33,990. That's up to $8,000 off. $15,000 off Ford Expeditions. And what about the Ford Mustang? Starting as low as $29,990. And the all-new Ford Mavericks starting as low as $23,990 and no payment for 90 days. And don't forget about Stivers Ford's mobile service. Get serviced at your home or work anywhere near the river region. It's all at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where price sells cars.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. A refreshing alcohol-free brew that tastes like the real thing. Budweiser Zero. 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to Banking Above and Beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the river region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. River Bank and Trust. And, you know, there again, just at times like this, you think about, well, would Bruce Pearl consider stepping down? This is when you reflect on your career, you reflect on the following the past season, and with what's going on with the transfer portal and NIL, people say it's a young man's game now. Is it a possibility? There again, I'm not trying to start anything here. I'm sure Auburn fans do not want him to step away anytime soon, and I don't blame you. Similar to Saban. Nobody ever wanted him to leave. But there'll be a day when that happens. And, they say, what they say about timing. Timing is everything. Would this be a good time? I just positioned it last week as if they won it all, right off into the sunset as a winner. But with what happened Saturday, maybe not. We'll see. I hope he sticks around for a long time. He makes basketball fun. And that's an understatement. So people are wondering who is leading in the contest. Well, last weekend, we had some different, it was stacked up a little differently. But as of this moment, leading into tonight's action, Houston and Florida, we have a new contestant that has taken over the top spot. His name is Casino Greg. Casino Greg is in the number one position as we speak, and Greg has Florida as his national champion. Now, there are 4 other contestants below Greg that also have Florida. Chuck J. 88, Don Messer, Margaret 10 Cup are all in the top 5 with Florida. Who is the highest entrant with Houston winning it all? Troy Genwright and CWN 12 both have Houston. I would think of those 7 that I just pointed out, one of those 7 is probably going to end up winning it. I don't know how all the algorithms work and the matrix and all that. I would assume, based on all of the point totals that I'm looking at, things of that nature, that if Florida wins tonight, Casino Greg's in really good shape. I would say the same thing about Troy Genwright if Houston wins it all. To me, it looks to be a 2-horse race between those 2 contestants. But we don't know. We certainly don't want to proclaim a winner until the final horn sounds. So we'll do that. But I would have to think those 2 are looking pretty good. What are they vying for? Well, that $1,000 travel voucher from the Montgomery Regional Airport. Getting better the more you use it. Also, our good friends at Phoenix Physical Therapy, getting you back in the game is what Phoenix Physical Therapy is all about, with locations throughout Central Alabama. River Region Straw, premium long needle pine straw for all of your landscaping needs. Call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. And the Destin Connection Seafood Market, the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf, arriving daily here in Montgomery. So we'll certainly have our grand champion tomorrow. But right now, that looks like it's a 2-horse race between those 2 folks. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, spring football over the weekend, pretty much the same old kind of stuff. You're not going to hear a lot. Same stuff. Quarterback battles. Ty Simpson certainly seems to have the edge. I think the big question is who's going to be backing him up. Also hearing a lot of good things about the depth at the wide receiver position. Hearing similar things at Auburn as well. Obviously, Jackson Arnold's come in from Oklahoma. Transfer quarterback. Would be completely shocked if he doesn't take the first snap against Baylor later this fall. But certainly some of the sizzle is taking out of spring football, not as top of mind as it used to be. That was the big buzz. I think basketball has taken a lot of that away. A lot of that steam has been taken away because of basketball. But still hearing some pretty good things, but we won't have spring football like we're accustomed to, like we're normal that we normally see. But I will say this, I do think college football, particularly within the state of Alabama, is going to be more enjoyable this in 2025. I think the records are going to be better for both Auburn and Alabama, better for Troy as well. But I really think it will be a really good season. And as both Auburn and Alabama and Troy, for that matter, they've rolled the basketballs up, the season's over, get knocked out of the NCAA tournament, they can squarely focus their attention to the upcoming football season. I really do think it's going to be better for all three of the programs that we talk a lot about here on this show. As I mentioned, the Braves did win. They won one of their games against the Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins, whatever they're called. Is it time for Braves fan to panic? You know, Robbie has yet to chat about the Braves. It's been about the Final Four. It's been about spring football. I'm sure he'll probably chat today about some of the transfers that Nate Oates has reeled in through the portal. Number one shooting guard out of Miami, bringing some height to this Alabama program. And some tall guys down low. Maybe Robbie will chat about that today, but I don't see him chatting about the Atlanta Braves, who have won just one game so far. One game. And Auburn, there is some good news because the Tigers took 2 of 3 against their in-state rival Alabama over the weekend. How about that? So there's something positive for you. That's a good weekend. Actually saw a little of that. I guess I was channel surfing during or maybe right after the Duke-Houston game, or maybe during it for some reason. That's a really good-looking ballpark Auburn has over there. Passed by it hundreds of times, but I know there's been a lot of new renovations to that facility. And, man, it looked really good on TV. I was very impressed how well that looked on TV when I channel surfed on Saturday night. Really did. That was good stuff there. So there's something positive. But what now? What now? As we get into this point of the year where, there again, basketball is over. You know, baseball, both these teams in the top 25, but are we going to gravitate toward college baseball? You know, spring football just seems to be not that big of an issue. Maybe it will be. Maybe it will become more of one. I don't know. I've always said that I think one of the reasons sports are as popular as they are is because of the season in which they play. Now, some people will tell you, well, they could play football in May and it'd still be popular. I don't know. It'd be popular, but nothing like it is in the fall. Fall and football go together. It just enhances the viewing experience, the game day experience. Fall and football. I don't think it would, there again, it'd be popular, but not as electric and as popular as you have it from September through November in the regular season. Would basketball be as popular? I don't think so either. I think it kind of gets you through those dreary, long, cold winter days. You're indoors watching a game, so it works out better. And baseball is meant to be played, outdoors. I know some major league teams don't, but majority of them do. Spring and summer days. But there's also other things going on that I think take our time away. We've been cooped up inside. Cooped up inside. It's time to get out, enjoy the nice weather, get out on the lake, the rivers, play golf, whatever, go to the beach. So you're really not maybe as focused on sitting around watching a game. And that's where, spring football and tried to pick that up. The UFL. Stallions got their first win. Understand there was a really good crowd. A protective stadium for the Stallions. They should be. Teams won back-to-back titles. What are they waiting on? But now we get into this after spring football. And in being in radio for over 30 years, we know what type of season this becomes. It's the talking season. Steve Spurrier brought that up at Media Days one year. Talking season's over. But during the talking season, you start talking about things like, well, what's going to happen with this program? What's going to happen to this coach? Are they going to do this, that, or the other? And that's what I mentioned about Pearl. And there again, I don't think he's going anywhere, but it would be interesting if something did happen. But we don't want that, right? All right, when we return, Gurn Jr. has a topic we'll locked and loaded up for us today. As I mentioned, Chris, we're going to get to that a little early because we are slammed in the second hour of the program today. A lot going on in hour number 2, so we wanted to make sure we had plenty of time for that. Also, the Phantoms Daily Dawg in the second half of the program as well. We're going to try to do something with Griff if we can get him recontacted today. Don't know really what happened with Griff today. I'm one-legged here, so trying to communicate with him and everybody else, it's a little tough, but we'll get that worked out for you as well. But a lot to go with today here on the program. Appreciate you hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends. Of course, we're on yellowhammernews.com. You can check us out there each and every morning, yellowhammernews.com. They also have a write-up about the program each and every afternoon at yellowhammernews.com. We're also, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Spotify, just about anywhere that you get your podcast or you watch your podcast. We're there. We greatly appreciate you checking us out and telling everybody about it. And there again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Gurn Jr.'s Victoryland 777 topic will, when we return on a Monday, put the seatbelts on. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about and chat about here on the Monday edition of Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light.
Here we are at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. Our friend, everybody's friend, Mary Ann is with us. Mary Ann, April is a special month, even more special at Marguerite's.
Definitely. Okay, so it's the first of the month, Barry. What's that birthstone?
It's a diamond, right?
Yes. Winner. It's easy to remember because with April comes baseball season, baseball diamond. We've got diamond month here at Marguerite's, and it is a great time. We are having diamond month to really emphasize all the great diamonds we have in stock. We're doing crazy specials on natural as well as lab created diamonds with solitaire specials, starting out at, this is crazy to believe, $500 for a lab created diamond solitaire. That's insane. Like a 1 carat inner ring. We have diamond studs, diamond tennis necklaces, tennis bracelets. Everything with our diamonds are going to be unmatched, unparalleled prices. And loose stones, again, maybe because it is baseball season and you're watching all of those games that you need to give a little extra something, or that girlfriend that you've been dating for a while needs to get an engagement ring. Well, now is definitely the time to do it because our loose diamonds are on special.
Yeah, if you are thinking about an engagement, here's a pro tip. That may be Marianne's favorite thing to do at Marguerite's, is to help the guys make sure their odds are good with a beautiful diamond for that loved one that they're going to pop the question to, right?
Most definitely. It's great to help. We love helping you. The hardest thing you have to do is walk through the door. Next thing, I mean, honestly, you just say, I need to get engaged, or between the two of us or the rest of these listeners, I can tell when a guy walks through. They kind of just have that look and they're just walking slow and looking around. And I'm like, need an engagement ring? And they just shake their head. I take it from there. Just get some ideas. White gold, yellow gold, diamonds. We have them. Guys, it's not hard. Honestly, just walk through the door. We can help you.
Yeah, it's not intimidating at all. They have people who would love to help, especially in Diamond Month in April in Marguerite. Yes. Marianne, as always, it's so great to talk with you. What are the hours of operation?
Sure. We're open 7 days a week in the Pepper Tree Shopping Center, 10 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 10 to 5 on Saturday, and noon to 5 on Sunday.
Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry, Pepper Tree Center, next to Chappie's Deli, 8163 Vaughn Road in Montgomery. Thanks very much, Marianne. Great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About, 29 minutes to the top of the hour here today. Gurn Jr. is up in network control. I don't know if this is on the topic wheel or not, but I did want to ask him before he gets it up there. He's a big basketball guy. He was our correspondent at SEC Basketball Media Days up in Nashville earlier this spring. So I know he's a big basketball guy. So, Gurn, your thoughts about Saturday night? I've heard from a lot of other people. I'd like to get your thoughts about Florida down big at halftime, erasing that lead quickly in the second half, going on to win. And then, of course, what Houston, I think, shocked the world in coming back, seven down with 30 seconds to go and wins the game. Gurn, what'd you think about that Saturday night?
I thought that was awesome. It was just crazy. Basically, I mean, March, anything's possible. I did not see Flag losing it, but you know, what can you say?
What'd you think about that? What'd you think about that whistle on Flag? I mean, that
was a little questionable. It was definitely a little questionable.
I could see that on another player, some unknown guy. And I'm with you. I've seen much worse fouls before. I thought that was a little nitpicky. You know me. I've been
you gotta
about nitpicky.
In my opinion,
I'm with you. But in a game like that, no doubt about it. Yeah. Does that make any difference? Does that make any difference? Maybe it does. I mean, if they don't call a foul on him, maybe that does make a difference, because we saw a lot happen in 30 seconds. I wonder what the odds were at the 30-second point, because live odds.
I'm sure someone got pretty lucky and just hit that button really quick.
Yeah, Houston's going to win. I mean, with 30 seconds to go, it's kind of like, the grave digger, 4th and 31. I think the odds of Alabama winning were 90 against them, and 99.9% that they couldn't win the game.
Exactly.
I got to think the odds there were incredible. Duke fans are probably still shaking their heads, wondering what in the world just happened to us. But
just the pure shock. I know I'm not the biggest Duke fan in the world, so I kind of enjoyed getting to see all the surrender Cobras and all the shock.
I think a lot of people felt that way. I think a lot of people felt that way, Gurn, that they're a little over Duke. I mean, kind of like Alabama was in football. They just kind of tired of them, want to see somebody else win it. I think a lot of people out there feel that way about Duke. What an ending. I still can't get over it, though. I would have never thought Houston could come back, particularly against a team like Duke, a named team, and that foul. Oh, wow. There again, that foul on Cooper Flagg, that was interesting, I will say. Clayton Jr. for Florida. Man, what a player. I mean, pretty much put his team on his shoulders in the second half. 34 total against Auburn. Did you did you get the feeling, Gurn, that Auburn was fatigued, tired? I almost felt like Florida. That was almost kind of Florida's game.
A little just a little burned out. It feels like I compared it to Alabama using up their juice in that incredible win versus BYU, and then just falling flat.
Yeah.
It was very similar to that. It just felt like they were just beaten up and had already used up pretty much all the energy they had.
Mm-hmm.
Because they still looked good, but that it just wasn't there.
I wonder, me, I'm wondering about Bruce Pearl, and now I'm wondering about Florida's game plan. I wonder if that was kind of part of the Gators' game plan, their mindset. We just need to get this game into the second half. We feel like we can tire them down, get them fatigued. We'll have more bench play. Bruce Pearl brought up the point he only had 7 players to play. I thought that was an interesting comment after the game. I
would usually think Auburn would be more of a second half team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But man, I kept saying that to my buddy I was watching it with, who's an Aub. And
how'd that go over? What was that like?
He was not happy.
Give us some detail about what it's like watching it with an Auburn fan as they see their team let that lead slip away.
I was the good friend who was just I was, y'all got this. Y'all are second half team. Y'all come back. It'll be okay. And then it just every time I kept it didn't go right. Yeah,
and I've done that before. I've had to do that before, Gurn. It's not easy. I mean, you don't know what to say. You're kind of in an awkward position. It's like, sheesh, wow, what do I say here? I mean, it's tough. Sometimes you have to say, hey, anybody need me to go get anything?
Hey, he got to watch me watch the Alabama game. So
okay, yeah, there you go.
That's fair enough.
Yes, so it kind of what goes around comes around, or whatever they say.
Exactly.
There. Yeah. All right. So what about tonight? Have you thought about it? Who you like tonight?
I honestly toss up. I couldn't tell you.
Really?
They're both just the way Houston has the ability to play defense. It's hard to say. I mean, in the end, I'm probably taking Florida. I have to, just SEC bias, but
the thing that scares me about, how many times can Florida keep coming back?
Exactly.
They've come back a lot, and obviously they're tested. Their mental side doesn't seem to bother them. But Houston's defense, I mean, I heard so much about it going into this game, but they're for real. That defense is phenomenal. I just wonder about Florida being able to handle that defense.
If they can get hot and find a way to get past that defense, they'll be great. But that's tough. That's hard to do.
All right, before we get to the wheel, let me get to a couple of chats here. Terrence, this is a good point. Not only, Bruce Pearl talks about he only had 7 players to use, which I thought this team was deep, 10 deep. Also, his usage of timeouts. Florida gets on this run, ties the game up. He didn't even call a timeout. As Terrence said, he must have used them on the flight back home. I don't know, but I thought Bruce's use of timeouts in the second half was a little questionable. I'm with you there, Ty. Also, Ty's not real thrilled about tonight's matchup. Florida and Houston calls it a snooze fest. Chris the Bammer says low ratings. I don't know. I mean, obviously Duke's going to bring in the numbers. People love Duke. The world loves Duke, but I don't know. It's for all the marbles. It's a championship game. Who's to say? Also, Casino Greg says he's lost interest in spring football. No real scrimmage, not on TV, and a third of the players will transfer out. Yawner. Greg, I mean, you're right. A lot of fans feel that way. There's no loyalty. These guys aren't there for long periods of time. Back in the day, you could, track a player, your favorite player, over a 3-4 year period, get to know him, whatever. But nah, that's not the case anymore. It is transfer city. And Greg also mentioned the Stallions picking up their first win in the UFL and says it was a good crowd at Protective Stadium, and he's planning on heading up there this weekend. That'd be pretty good. Awesome. All right, Gurn, I see the wheel is loaded up. What do you say we go ahead and start spinning the Victoryland 777 topic wheel here today? Man, Gurn has got them loaded up to, wow. Stunned silence. I like to try to think what this could be before I actually look at it. Stunned silence. Yeah, for Duke, stunned silence after epic collapse in the Final Four. I bet it was really quiet at Duke. Yep. Yeah, you saw Cooper Flagg's 12-foot jumper fall a little short, a little kind of a fadeaway there, and he just couldn't get it going. Tell us more about this, Gurn, because, they were not – to me, it kind of had that Christian Laettner look to it, the way that he shot that ball, but it hit the front of the rim, and it was no good. There again, you wouldn't expect that out of a guy like Cooper Flagg.
Everybody expected him to be the hero, and, when it comes down to it, he missed the shot. He obviously just won the the MVP, but I mean, I think that's, when it comes down to it, he's going to be thinking about that one for a long time.
Well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. And, I think of some of the greats in the game. When it was a clutch time, they always gave the ball to Michael Jordan. Everybody knew the Flagg was going to take that shot. And it was that great defense by Houston. I can't tell you how impressed I've been watching this Houston defense. And people don't, they don't buy a ticket to watch defense. They buy a ticket to watch the threes go in and the fast breaks and the slam dunks. But Houston has certainly carved out a niche, and I thought they defended Flagg well, and certainly on that play. Yeah, stunned at Duke. I'm sure they enjoyed that at Chapel Hill. All right, spin the wheel here on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel, where you can be a winner to billions. What could this be about? Billions. Texas isn't spending billions on NIL, are they? Hearing on landmark $2.8 billion NCAA settlement could lock in seismic changes for college sports. Yeah, Gurn, we've been talking about this for several months now, and I think really this might be the only future. U.S. District Court scheduled for a hearing Monday in a courtroom in Oakland, expected to be the last one before the changes will truly begin under the industry-changing $2.8 billion settlement of a 5-year-old lawsuit against the NCAA and the nation's largest conferences. Among other things, it will clear the way for the schools to pay up to $20.5 million each with their athletes. I was going to talk to Griff about this today as well. Hopefully we can get him rescheduled. To me, that's the only way it's going to work. I mean, you hear Greg Byrne talking to people about Bama's not flush with cash, sending out text, tweets, and emails, wanting supporters to be a part of Yay, Alabama. And I get it. Everything counts. Every little nickel counts. But I think to really structure it and get it uniform, you got to do it like this. Kind of a salary cap, if you will. This is what you got. You go spend it how you want it. Now, is that fair for Texas and Ohio State, some of these other programs that we're led to believe are flush with cash? Maybe not. But in the NFL and other major sports net leagues, they want it to be as equal as they possibly can get it. And I think that's really the only way you can do it here. So hopefully this is the way it plays out. I'd like to see it played out that way. I think in the long run, it's the only way to sustain college athletics how we really want to see it and enjoy it. So I've got that on my calendar. I am looking forward to that. All right, that's a good one as well, Gurn. Let's spin it again here on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Going to it early today, Chris. Hope you enjoyed it early. Normally we do this in the second hour. Going to change things around a little bit. UConn. I think we're talking about lady college basketball. Very interesting game going up against South Carolina squad, who, of course, has been incredibly good. Gurn, I'm going to get you to get us to tell us about this one. I kind of went all along on the House versus the NCAA. What are you hearing here about the big win for UConn?
All right, so they absolutely just dominated. It wasn't even close. 82-59. I'm trying to I always struggle with her name, but we'll just say her first name's Paige.
Yeah, sure.
Bjorkers. But she basically just dominated the entire game. 17 points, 6 rebounds. Over defending South Carolina, which is a tough team to beat.
Oh boy, no kidding.
They basically crushed it last year in the championship, but so they were able to snap their drought and get UConn's first championship back in 9 years, which is a big deal for them.
Well, it really is, and I'm old enough to remember. I'm going to try to work on this guy's name. Gino Arminato. Am I close on that? UConn's head coach somewhere. I know I'm kind of close. I mean, the battles that he would have with Pat Summitt for championships in women's basketball. I mean, those two, I mean, they really, without those two, man, I'm not sure women's basketball will be where it is today. But we certainly know what UConn has done. I mean, and they continue to be good, but South Carolina's kind of come up and emerged as an incredible women's team, and tough loss for them. I'm sure South Carolina, feeling high, feeling confident, thought they were going to be the team, but big win for UConn. And to say a guy like Gino is done and the game's passed him by, wow, did some great things there at UConn. I know he's got to be proud, very, very proud. Good one there. All right. We got some more to go before we have to take a quick timeout. Let's spin it again here. Victoryland 777 topic wheel. H-Town. I guess we're talking about Troy here. No, I mean, the Houston, let's see what this, let's see. Wait a minute. The Phantom had Golden State last week, and it looks like they get spanked by the Houston Rockets. Tell us what happened here in this one, Gurn, because Steph Curry was held to 3 points, 1 of 10 shooting, missing 7 out of 8.
You beat me to it. He choked. He couldn't shoot.
Wait a minute.
The Golden Goose could not perform. And when he struggles, they tend to just really struggle, especially this season.
Maybe
Jalen Green going off. He scored 21 points.
Sheesh. Maybe that game last week, I think the Phantom had Golden State at the LA Lakers, a game in which they won big. Maybe Curry just left it all there in LA. That's the only thing I can figure.
The one cool thing is this right here is the Curry passed Reggie Miller for the 24th place on the NBA's scoring list.
Oh, wow.
So he's still moving up, but yeah, he definitely he missed the mark last night. So
yeah, scroll down just a little at the top of that article where it was saying
I'm gonna get
where we right at right here. Curry held to 3 points on 1 for 10 shooting, missed 7 of 8 3-pointers for his lowest total of the season in a game he was healthy. Curry scored 2 points back on the 19th of December at Memphis, but he was injured in that game. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can't show up and be 100% every week. I mean, that's amazing. Man, that's amazing. All right, let's spin her again. See where we are here on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Man, that's unbelievable. And there we go. Of course, Barry's with Troy baseball on a lengthy road trip with the Troy women playing in the women's NIT, and it was not good. Was not good for the Troy women. Tough weekend for them, but I'm telling you, that program has done incredibly well. Trojan women's basketball, tough loss for them over the weekend. Was on top of that, Gurn, was that kind of what you were thinking?
That was, and then I haven't been able to follow it, but if you have a Troy baseball update.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that because I know they're heading off on another, and that's why Barry's traveling today, heading off on another road trip, a lengthy road trip for the Trojans over the last couple of weeks. So we'll definitely get you updated on that, see where we are with Troy baseball. I think we have one more topic here to go before we take another break here. I think I think I heard something about this over the weekend. Got to spin it to make it official. I heard this yesterday that the great one, Wayne Gretzky, a record has been broken that he held as the NHL goals king. And what happened up in the nation's capital yesterday, Gurn? I heard a little radio report about this. Pretty exciting stuff.
So Ovi has officially passed him. They all knew it was coming. They just didn't know when. He actually had the opportunity to pass him on a empty net, and he declined. He held the puck, which I thought was pretty cool because he wanted it to be like a real goal. But it's definitely iconic. He's been around forever. This is he's probably my generation's Gretzky, if we had to say. And it's really cool kind of getting to see Gretzky commentate and kind of give him love. They're not there's no jealousy shared there. It's kind of
nice. Yeah.
It's kind of a touching moment in a weird sense.
Well, I can see that. And that's nice because some professional athletes don't have the greatest attitude about everything. Ty says in hockey news, you just mentioned it. We just talked about that. Says Gretzky's career hockey record was overtaken yesterday, but he says Gretzky still has the record for having the hottest wife and daughter. I think Dustin Johnson's married to Gretzky's daughter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not real sure who Gretzky's wife is. Maybe I should know that. I think she was a former Sports Illustrated model, if I'm not mistaken. Who knows? All right, Gurn, great stuff on the Victoryland 777 topic, Will. Really appreciate that. Still having to move some stuff around. Understand our man Josh Harris, the Moneyline magician, is delayed on an airplane. And there are a lot of those delays as well. My wife came in from D.C. last night, and the weather delayed her arrival into Montgomery for a little while, but no problem. Still arrived safely in Montgomery, so that was great. But I know other people are having some travel issues today as well. So hopefully Josh can join us sometime before we head out at the 9 o'clock hour. Still trying to see if Mike Griffith can join us. Also, we have Gurn Sr. with Masters Memories. It is Masters Week. He's going to join us. Maybe he can jump on a little early. And then we also, as we talked about, she's now in a better position than she was last week in the ESPN Tournament Bracket Challenge, where there are 24.4 million entries. She was in the top 100 when we spoke to her last week after the 2 games in the Final Four Saturday, where does she stand today? Well, we're going to let you know that in the next hour as well. Phantom's Daily Dawg will chime in today. So we got a lot going on throughout the remainder of the program. But as I mentioned, kind of working on the fly here with some scheduling changes due to weather issues and things of that nature. But we're going to make it work nonetheless. It is the Monday edition of Longshore McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Back with more right after this. Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
Top of the hour here on a Monday edition. Ty lets me know that Gretzky's wife, Janet Jones Gretzky, former gymnast, actress, and playmate. Wow, really? She was in Playboy? I did not know that. Wow. Okay. That would be that's awesome. Thank you, Ty. See, that's what the River Region Straw chat line is all about. Letting us know things that we're just not really. Maybe I did know that. No, I didn't know she was a gymnast. Didn't know she was an actress. Maybe I did know she was a playmate. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? All right. As I mentioned, we're kind of juggling things around here this morning. Some weather issues, travel issues as well. So we're going to kind of mix and match, if you will. And on my list today, as I was thinking of things over the weekend, obviously it is Masters Week. It is the championship of men's college basketball tonight. The NCAA tournament's been going on. And I thought I would bring on a guest that I know is, pretty knowledgeable in both of those sports, having attended several. And I thought we would get some reflection and some predictions and some recap from Gurn Jr., who joined us a couple of weeks ago about another subject. The guy is very well versed. I see he's in the green room joining us here today. Gurn, thank you. Wow, got your Masters green on. I mean, you are ready for Masters Week. I was going to wait until Thursday to pull mine out, but you've jumped the route on me.
Well, John, thanks for having me. I know it's a slow talent day and you're scrambling around with a single screen. So I appreciate the invite. Look forward to chatting today. This is my, some people love the start of football season. Some people love Christmas and Easter. This is my favorite week of the year. You've got the basketball from last weekend, which was fantastic. I do have to admit, I quote, fell asleep Saturday, only to wake up with a minute and a half left to I guess, see the only important part of the Duke game. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I didn't really believe it happened. I had to kind of gather my senses to see what's going on. Auburn was a disappointment. I thought they had it. And they laid an egg in the second half. But yeah, like I said, this is Masters week and also the Final Four night. So this is like the premium sports week for me. Love the Final Four. It meant a lot in our family. My father attended probably 10 or 12 of them in a weird way. Well, man, and this is, you can, the way people attend events now, you just go out, spend $5,000 and go. He was a retired judge, lawyer, district attorney. He figured out ways. And so his way was, my high school basketball coach, Cecil Skinner, joined the National Coaches Association in like 1955. Because he was a member, one of the longest standing members of the National Coaches Association, he got 2 tickets to the Final Four, wherever it was. And so my dad would pay for them to go wherever it is. And they would sit in the primo seats. And just because this guy was on the list. And so they did that for probably, 10 or 12 times. I mean, just all over the place. But he also was he also figured other things out, which was the coaches on the Sunday between the Saturday and Monday game, they would have a golf tournament, but it is only for the coaches and their assistant coach. And so he all of a sudden became the assistant coach with his buddy. And so he got to play great golf courses at the Final Four as well with all these famous coaches, were out there around the country. So and it was all on a budget. I mean, it wasn't, they're paying X amount. And I think a lot of times they wouldn't stay till Monday. They'd come back on Monday so they could watch it, and they'd sell the tickets for Monday night. Sure. So yeah, that's
kind of pay for their trip doing it that way.
Pay for their trip doing that. I've kind of sworn off the Final Four because unless I'm not going to go back unless I have a good ticket. I've been to I've been twice, and they were all in these stadiums, and it's just, if you're up in the rafters, you're just looking at the big screen. You're not watching the game. You can't see the game. I mean, the Superdome sucked. I mean, it's just, you can't see anything. And I was there in 93 when North Carolina ended up beating Kansas. And I mean, anyway, that's not
I remember sitting in an upper level corner seat at the Pontiac Silverdome watching an NCAA tournament game. I get your drift. It's like ants are on the floor.
So you're bringing up the infamous Vandy makes it to the Sweet 16. You're working in Michigan. I'm in law school. I say, we're going to the Pontiac Silverdome. I'll be up there the day before. We're going to drive over to Detroit, go to Silverdome. All hopes were that Vandy was going to beat Kansas, and Danny Manning goes something like 21 for 22. I mean, still, he had like 43 points. Yeah. And it was like a beatdown. Yeah. It was what's that show? What's that movie about those guys that drive from LA to to Vegas. I can't remember the name of that movie.
The Hangover.
No, this is the one
Fear and
about
Loathing in Las Vegas.
No, that's not it either. It's the guy Vince Vaughn and the other guy, and they go over and they've got like $500 to gamble, and the guy doubles down on the first hand and loses all his money. That's the way I felt.
Hey, I know that guy. I know somebody that's done that.
When Vandy lost to Kansas in that god awful Sweet, you make it all the way to Sweet 16, and then you crumble.
Who was Vandy's best player that year?
Well, they had several. They had Purdue and Barry Goheen, and I mean that was one of their better teams. And I think the next year they actually did not make the tournament, but they won the NIT. So I mean it was that they had a good run during that time. But
I'm with you about these games being in dome facilities. I'm glad that the games leading up to the Final Four are not in domes, because I just think you need to be in arenas. But I get it. It's a money grab, the NCAA. And, I saw some of these upper level seats at the Alamo Dome, and I'm thinking, whoo, man, those guys are so far away from the action. Why bother?
Anytime you have benches where you have to take 3 steps up to get to the court means they're at a football field. And that's just, I mean, and you look, if you're in the lower sections, probably 4,000 or 5,000 people, that's great. But if you're in the other 35,000, you're spending $500 or $600 for that.
Yeah, come on.
That's not. Yeah, that's nothing great. But
before we get on more into golf, I'm just curious, because I'm like you. I thought Duke had it. Thought the game was won, and all I'd heard about was Houston's great defense. I think that last 30 seconds was a great example of just how good that team is defensively. But I don't think anybody ever imagined that in 30 seconds Duke could lose a lead of, what were they, up 7 with 30 seconds to go?
Well, I think the difference is, if you had to say, what was it? Look, that's one of the best basketball teams. Duke is one of the best basketball teams I've ever seen. And look, Cooper Flagg's great, and he'll be the number 1 pick. But the 7'2" guy from South Sudan, Malachi, that guy, not Malachi, whatever his name is, he is the real deal. And I don't know if you saw the paper, he may get deported this week.
Oh, wow.
Everybody, supposedly there's an edict out that everybody from South Sudan on a visa is gone. So that will be an interesting political kind of thing. But that dude, that is a dude. He will be, I can't imagine he's outside the top 5 in the next NBA draft. He's the real deal. And then Con Knippel, that guy, he looks like he's Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
He's 6'7", and he's a brick, and he can fill it up. So, I mean, you got those 3 guys, but the difference, they're 3 freshmen. Now, they played a lot of basketball. Cooper Flagg's played against the pros in the Olympic warm-ups. I mean, he's the real deal, but they haven't been in that situation. And they got the lead. It's easy when you're up 15, but man, when you start getting it down to 6, 2 possessions, and that throat starts getting a little tight, and you don't have a timeout, and you don't have a point guard that's gonna save you. Yeah, it's crazy, and that was crazy. Yeah. That doesn't happen.
Oh, unbelievable! What about that flag? What about that foul on Flag late on the free throw?
You don't get everything, but look, I tell you who really is upset. Duke's upset. They're crying and all that. CBS is upset.
Oh,
CBS, Duke, Florida. Can you imagine the draw for Duke, Florida? Oh my gosh. Nobody wants to see Houston, Florida. Only thing worse would have been Houston and Auburn. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
No,
kick them
that would have been a good one. That would have been a good one too, but it'd been a rematch. So you don't want to see that. But yeah, this will be look, as a basketball purist, I love it. But since we're talking basketball, something over the weekend happened that's one of the most amazing things, because I've been following it for years. Texas A&M hired Bucky McMillan. So you say, who is Bucky McMillan? If you know anything about basketball in Alabama, he won 5 state championships at Mount Brook High School. He played at Birmingham Southern. They shut the program down. He is an amazing coach. He plays full court press. It's called Bucky Ball. He's been at Samford. They almost beat Kansas 2 years ago. It's an amazing story. This is a kid. This is just like, this person. And he's now the head coach at Texas A&M. His dad was a former criminal court appeals judge. They're from Birmingham, from Mount Brook. Was the best player at Mount Brook High School. And anyway, it'll be amazing to see. It'll be interesting to see whether he succeeds, because he only has like 4 or 5 years of college experience. And now he's getting 7 figures at Texas A&M. So
yeah, he's got to go out and recruit and, the NIL transfer, big boy basketball. So heard a lot about Bucky McMillan. Even heard his name before Nate Oates was hired. There was some rumblings about him maybe being in Alabama at one point in time. That's exciting news for Bucky, because he has done incredible. Back to Auburn. Big lead at halftime, 9-point lead. Someone texted me during halftime and said, fellas, the first 3 minutes is going to be huge in the second half. I mean, boom. Florida jumped on them, has this game tied up in no time. What did you see out of Auburn in the second half? Were they fatigued? Were they tired? I mean, Bruce comes out and says he only had 7 players to utilize, which I thought was odd. I thought his usage of timeouts was also a little questionable, particularly when Florida went on that big run.
Well, the text you got, I mean, look, I'm no basketball expert, but the people who seem to know things, they say the 2 most important periods are the last 3 minutes of the first half and the first 3 minutes of the second half. And Auburn laid an egg in the last 3 minutes of the first half, because they could have really extended it past 9. And they let a guy go full court on them when they shouldn't have. I mean, things like that. So that's where the mode just gets going. And Walter Clayton Jr., that dude is real. And he went back to back for 30. Nobody since 79, Larry Bird has done that. And Larry Bird was a one-man team. Walter Clayton's not a one-man team. But they have got, say what you want to about Walter Clayton. I swear, I've never seen a guy. All right, so he's like 6'4", 6'5". Elijah Martin, who played at, I think it's FAU or one of those schools, he throws one down on, I mean, that was a thunder dunk. And that just sets the tone. And got on your heels. You got your shooters aren't shooting. And Florida's damn good. I mean, they're well coached, but they're deep, and they've got guys who can play. And Auburn's kind of next level guys didn't have a great game, and so that's what happens. And it was a close game, good game.
Sure,
they had a great year. Shoot, I mean, he's got a great program. It'll be, he loses a bunch, he's got to reload. Everybody's got to reload. It's just, who can you go buy now? Make sure you buy the right players.
Well, that leads me to my next question. Nate Oates has certainly been very busy on the transfer portal. He's reeled in several top-notch guys. The number 1 shooter in the country has brought some height to this program. Any thoughts about what Nate Oates has done and seemingly not wasting any time once they were eliminated from the tournament to restock his roster for next year?
Well, I hadn't discussed this with Gurn Jr., and I intentionally didn't, because I didn't want to ruin his weekend. But obviously, and he probably, I don't know if he saw it or not, but the fact that Mo Diabate went into the transfer portal is, look, he may be doing a Mabakwe move to try and get more money. And I hope that's the case, because I hope they pay him, because that's the kind of guy you want. You want that guy, because he'll do whatever you ask him to do. He's not going to, and so that's fine. And I think kids will want to come play for Oates. They want to run and gun. And we're going to have the same thing. And then you just hope you get some special people. It's tough. I mean, the system works. I think no doubt it's not going to drop. You don't think this kind of, if you get the right players, maybe you go to 4th or 5th in the league, but maybe you don't have a top 2 or 3 team, depending on the players. But you never know. I mean, you might catch that lightning in the bottle with a good
Yeah.
player that's somewhere else. I don't know that there's anybody that's super special. You just have to wait and see.
Gurn Sr. joining us today, getting a lot of positive reaction on the chat line. Chris the Bammer says, you need your own podcast. I think he's busy doing something else, Chris, but I'll pass that along to him.
I think it would be called the Loser Podcast, or the Last Man on the Bench. Maybe I could be the last man on the bench, because go back to my high school basketball days.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, we could do that together, because I was the last man on the bench as well. All right, let's, as we first talked about the Masters, I'm looking at a weather update right now. I think I'm told that they're not opening the gates for the practice rounds at Augusta National till 12 noon, because a lot of bad weather is moving through the Augusta area as we speak. It's been that way over the last 24 hours, but a lot of great Masters memories. My first was the year that Scott Hoke missed the short putt in the playoff with Nick Faldo on the 10th hole, which was the first playoff hole. That's the first Masters I ever attended. Attended many more after that point. And I tell this all the time. I'm sure he'll echo it. You got to go. You got to see it with your own eyes, because TV just doesn't give it justice. It is a magical place, to say the least.
Yeah, I hate to harp on this, but my father also, the Masters was huge to him. And, back in the day, badges you could get a badge. It was a little bit harder. And there are people, and it's weird, there are people like in Thomasville, Georgia, and Dothan, who had gotten badges early on, and there are lots of them, and they would go. John and I have a mutual friend whose dad went every year with people from Dothan and things like that. So my dad would go every year. He'd get 2 badges from somebody and go, and he stayed in somebody's basement. And then my first experience, my mother got tired of him just going on his own. And I guess she guilted it where he would take the 2 of us, my mother and I, and then my brother, who was in law school, would come over. So we had 4 people. And so if you got 2 badges and 4 people, you could either, split out the badges, because they weren't electronic like they are now. You just go and come and split time. Or you could do what I learned about life. So there's a grocery store right across from Augusta National. My father walks up in the parking lot, just he and I, and he sees his man. This is his man.
Oh yeah.
This is the guy who he is, the guy who he has scout badges from in the past. And the guy walks up to him and says, "I can't talk to you." So he had just gotten arrested and for selling badges. He says, "But I'll tell you what, I know somebody else who can help you." He said, "If you will go into this grocery store, there's a guy in a white hat, and he'll help you." And so we walked in. There's a guy with a white hat in the grocery store, and the guy said, "I don't know what you're talking about." And my dad goes, "Here's the deal. I'm going to walk over to the lettuce section. I'm going to put 4 $100 bills on the lettuce section, and I'm going to walk away. And when I come back, I want 2 badges to be sitting there." And so that's how we got our other 2 badges. We're at the lettuce section of whatever that Piggly Wiggly or A&P that was across the street.
Sure, no, exactly. So, know the one you're talking about. Yep.
That was 1981, and the greatest thing that I remember from that, Watson comes back. We only went the first 2 days, but Watson comes back. Nicholas has a big lead, has a bad Saturday. Watson comes and wins. But I'm sitting there on 15, and Jack is playing with this young guy, this big old strong blonde-headed young guy. Jack hits it out there. The blonde guy hits it 50 yards past him. And I'm like, wow, who is this dude? It was Greg Norman. It was his first. It was his first Masters, and he finished 4th. You had the collapse later, but it was like, man, who the hell is this? And he was, that was just a kind of an amazing thing. But yeah, and you and I have been able to attend before.
Well, I was about to say, I was just thinking the last Masters, and I went to many in a row. Man, probably 10 or 12 in a row. But the last one I went to was with you, but I'm trying to remember how long ago it was. It seems like it'd been a while.
It's been a while. Two things from that one, and I told you about this the other day, it may be on the text, is so John was doing the show on the radio. He's doing it from his hotspot. He was on his phone.
Yep.
And we're at the rest area on I-20, coming out, having to let loose of some of our coffee from the morning. And we're still in the rest area, and I've got two buddies with me and John, and he's on the radio doing his show. And he goes, "It's a beautiful day here at Augusta. The dew is still on the grass. It's just slightly overcast. It's going to be a magical day for golf." And we're still sitting in the rest area on I-20. So
you got to paint the picture. You got to paint the picture for your listening audience. I do recall that. I got to get back over there because my Masters gear is getting a little worn. I need to get some. I need to freshen up.
Yeah. So, and then my other great memory from you, and you won't remember this, but we met up with two of my friends from DC who are these hot big shot CPA, works for accounting firms, and we see them in the parking lot. We're walking up, and you make a comment that the ex-wife now still talks about, as you referred to Phil Mickelson wearing youth medium golf shirts. That's when Phil was a little beefy. And still to this day, she laughed her ass. I guess I can say ass on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. Sure, yeah.
She still to this day thinks that's one of she remembers you because of the Phil Mickelson youth medium reference on his golf shirt. So,
oh, that's too much. That is too much. I love it. Yeah. A lot of great memories at Augusta National. I will say this, Gurn. There again, you got to go if you ever have the opportunity. Just seeing the beauty of it. There off of Washington Road. You turn off and you're thinking, wow, really? Am I here? But I will say this. I think CBS does such a phenomenal job in the production, in televising that event. I've always said, if you really want to watch the tournament, you need to watch it on TV. If you want to experience the tournament, you got to go and be there at Augusta to take it all in.
Yeah, I may not ever go back because the last time my wife and I went there was no better situation, and it was it'll probably never happen again. So I got a call on Saturday. My buddy who has a house over there with this company, he said, "Hey, you and Elizabeth want to come over, spend the night. We've got somebody cooking dinner. And guess what? The weather looks bad the next day. So we're just going to go." And I don't like Sunday. You can't see anything, crowd. No. You can't really see the golf. And we get over there and they say, "Hey, the weather's going to be really bad tomorrow. So what we're going to do, they're going to go off 2 tees and they're going to let the leaders go off early. And so you don't have the crowd. So you can, we're just going to go follow the groups." And that's when Tiger won. And we basically every other or third hole, we go find a spot and watch. We watched the whole round, and that was just crazy. And then we're leaving. We're going up 18. He's on 17. And I said, "Let's get out of here. This crowd's, just too much." Elizabeth says, "Hell no. We're going up. We don't care. We want to be part of this. Let's go." And we went behind the tower, kind of behind the tower on 18. Could not see anything. I mean, we were 16
That's
deep.
Right. Sure.
And we're sitting there. He's coming up. And I look to my left, and there's like security guards. And there's his mother, daughter, girlfriend at the time, and son standing 3 feet from us.
Oh, wow.
And with his agent and everybody else. And they're just kind of prepping them to go, go do that. We can't see we didn't see the last putt. We don't see anything. And we see them take the family forward. And and then everybody's seen what happens where he hugs his family and all that kind of stuff. We don't even see that because we're that far back.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let's get out of here. And we did, and we probably got to the gate, and the flood, the water, the wind, the rain, the storms came. I mean, it was tornado watch. It was bad. I mean, they were within, 30 minutes of bad, having that many people out on the course. People were leaving. It was still kind of a touchy situation, but that, to me, and then we're done, and it's like 1 o'clock. I don't know what time. I mean, it was like 2 o'clock. I mean, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We got back to Greenville at like 6:30.
Wow.
That'll never happen again. Those kind of circumstances.
Because the Sundays that I've been over there, you're right. Sundays are crazy, but if you stay till the final hole is completed, that drive back home is tough. You're tired.
Brutal.
It's a lengthy drive. I hear you. I understand that we have a menu of what you can enjoy as a patron at Augusta National. There's the menu, the sign at all the concession areas. You can see the prices are certainly not that expensive. That's kind of one of their niches there at Augusta National. Is there a favorite on the menu board for Gurn? Is there something that you just cannot pass up when you're there at Augusta National?
Well, that's ironic that you should put that on there, because if I have one, I will eat 3 egg salad sandwiches. And what happens there is the drive back, you'll have to get the code on this, but there's a paper mill somewhere about 40 to 50 miles in Augusta.
You don't want to hit the window lock. Make sure the window lock is fully operational.
Yeah. That paper mill, paper mill in Madison, Georgia.
Woo!
Is tough. But yeah,
the problem is a couple of egg salad sandwiches, and then you wash it down with a draft beer. Whoa, that can be a bad combination.
But that's what it is. It's a draft beer. It's a beer or a light beer. They don't put brands on it.
Nope.
So you don't know what you're drinking. But yeah, no, that's a classic. Yeah, if you're ever just sitting out like on a Thursday or Friday, and you're over on 16 watching the last groups, you'll see people sprint over because the beer line's closing at a certain time, and they're bringing back like 8 beers for everybody. So
yeah, and you're right about that. I mean, Augusta's not into corporate advertising and all that type of stuff, so I've never really thought about it. I mean, I'm certainly it hit me when you mentioned that, but yeah, you don't walk up there and say, "Let me get a Budweiser, let me get a Bud Light." You just say, "Give me a beer." And, you better like it. You never know what you might be drinking. I'd love to know what they actually do pour at Augusta National.
So I'm sure it's a member's brand, whatever. I bet Coors is a member, so it might be a Coors. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, all right, this is another thing I don't know that gets discussed on air, is that there are bathroom attendants. So they have the best bathroom. They're almost as good as a Buc-ee's, but probably better than a Buc-ee's, because they have people. So you will go and use the restroom, and somebody will come behind you to clean it.
Yes.
That's I don't know that job, but that is amazing. And they're the cleanest, nicest temporary bathrooms you'll ever find. So
they are. I mean, they got guys cleaning down the sinks and the wash basin, and maybe mopping up around the urinals or the stalls or whatever. But you're right about that. And then they'll also kind of, okay, 2's open. You can get in over there at the end. Okay, there's a space for you over there.
Guy's running traffic. He's parking. He's doing parking. He's like, all right, with the white towel. He doesn't like Legion Field, except he doesn't have the white towel.
Exactly. I mean, they're it's like an air traffic controller pointing people where they can go use the facilities at the restrooms there at Augusta. It's awesome. Yeah, they do a great job.
All right, so who's going to win?
Well, I'm going to announce that on Thursday because I've been leading up to it. I've been kind of teasing it a little bit. For people that have good memories, I actually brought it up in my 12-month predictions that I do Memorial Day weekend. So last Memorial Day weekend, I picked the winner of the Masters. because I'm predicting what I think will happen over the next 12 months. And I'm sticking with him. So if you remember, good for you. If you don't, I'll tell you on Thursday again who I picked the weekend before Memorial Day of 2024 of who I think is going to win the Masters at Augusta National.
So I will never pick Rory because the time I took Gurn Jr. and his sister, Garnett, we went over there, and this is when Rory just crapped on the famous tennis player who was my daughter's favorite tennis player. So we had to go. Actually, he hadn't crapped on her yet. So we saw the two of them together, which was kind of fun. But then it went poorly after that. I'm gonna say Ludwig Aberg is who I pick. He's a random guy. He's a stud. If he gets his game in order, he's got the game for there. So
perfect. So I'm gonna write that down.
Go out and do your futures on Ludwig Aberg. So
yeah, I'm probably misspelling his name, but I'm still writing that one down.
Yeah.
All right, man. We really appreciate an extended time
fun.
here.
We'll do it again, and hope
down memory lane.
Right, finish this off. Do you have your pick? Have you done your pick for tonight yet?
I'm about to tell you. The Phantom's Daily Dog is coming up right after this quick break.
I'm going to stay on. I'm going to get on and listen because I'm going to go the other way. I hear that's the way to play it.
Yeah, well, you might want to wait. You might want to wait until we have my daughter on here in about 10 minutes, who has moved up in her position in the ESPN tournament bracket. She is, of course, out of 24.5 million entries. When we talked to her last week, she was in the 95th position. You might want to wait and see what position she's in right now.
Well, tell Lucy, congratulations. That's fantastic. I'm glad somebody in the family can pick games.
Woo! Tell me about it. No,
all right,
kid.
guys. Y'all have a great
Gurn
week.
Senior, thank you, buddy. Appreciate your time today, man. Some great memories of the Final Four in Augusta National. Just taking a little stroll down memory lane. Great stuff there. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I got to take a break. When we come back, the Phantoms Daily Dog, and then we will check in with daughter number 2. She's why not number 1? Well, she's not the oldest. We go by age. So daughter number 2, who has done extremely well in the ESPN Tournament Bracket Challenge, we will get an update from her and who she likes tonight in the championship game. I think you'll be very interested to hear what she has to say, and very interested to hear where she stands in the ESPN Tournament Bracket Challenge. She is one of 24.4 million people that entered. Where does she stand today? We'll talk about that here in just a couple of minutes. All right, quick timeout. When we come back, more of the Longshore McKnight presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Stick around. Give us some headway on the chat. Email longshoremcknight@gmail.com. Back with more right after this. Spring into savings at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, America's best-selling truck, the F-150. You can get every new 2024 at 2.9% APR for 72 months. How about an F-150 Lightning up to $15,000 off plus 0% for 75 months? The ever-popular Ford Bronco Sport as low as $25,990. The Ford Explorer, it started the SUV craze. An all-wheel drive with leather as low as $33,990. That's up to $8,000 off. $15,000 off Ford Expeditions. And what about the Ford Mustang? Starting as low as $29,990. And the all-new Ford Mavericks starting as low as $23,990 and no payment for 90 days. And don't forget about Stivers Ford's mobile service. Get serviced at your home or work anywhere near the river region. It's all at Stivers Ford in Montgomery, where price sells cars.
Hey, this is Barry McKnight from Longshore and McKnight, telling you about our friends at River Region Straw. You're not buying sticks or stems and pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the river region, full of color. that'll last all season long. They've got locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small. From a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load, River Region Straw also has seasoned firewood for the cold days and nights ahead. Pickup is available, and your order can be delivered if you like. They can even spread your pine straw if that's what you want to have happen, for sure. Call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw and firewood needs at River Region Straw.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market offers the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of Mexico with deliveries daily. Snapper, grouper, pompano, flounder, copia, along with medium, large, and jumbo shrimp, hand-picked crab meat, and chucked oysters. They can even cook your order for easy, quick pickup. The Destin Connection can make a po' boy with any of their seafood items that folks in New Orleans rave about. Go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call 288-4272 for pickup orders.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us here today on this Monday edition of Longshore McKnight. Barry traveling with Troy baseball today. All right, so you're wondering, I hope, about the Phantom's Daily Dog. Well, let's take a look. Friday, we had the Phantom's Daily Double Dog. First time we've ever done that. Phantom's Daily Double Dog. And it's interesting just how crazy this all is. Because we had Auburn plus 2.5 and Houston plus 5.5. So at halftime, we're feeling really good about Auburn. 9-point lead, getting points, playing well, looking great. Excuse me. Then we saw Florida come back, that incredible run to open up the second half. And they win the game, and they cover the spread. Auburn let me down. Then we've got Houston catching 5.5. And with 30 seconds to go, we're thinking maybe just a cheap bucket here, something, and oh, by the way, to get us under the number so we can cash in our ticket. And we all saw it. We've talked about it this morning. An incredible, miraculous comeback by Houston over Duke. And not only does Houston cover, but they win the game. So the Phantom split his first daily double dog. No harm, no foul. That leads us into tonight, where Houston and Florida are playing for the national championship. Houston is a 1.5-point underdog in this game. Florida's been a team that has come from behind, had to play from behind. They've certainly been able to get it done. Can they do it tonight? Can they fall behind against this Houston team and rally back as they've done so many times before in this tournament to win it? I don't know. So luck run out. I've been very impressed with this Houston defense. And as you know how it goes, it's the Phantom's Daily Dog. Yeah. Not the Phantom's favorite. So we're taking the Houston Cougars plus the 1.5. Can they cover? Sure they can. Can Florida win, but Houston cover? Sure. Kind of a thin, razor-thin margin, but it can be done. But we're taking Houston plus the 1.5 tonight. Now, probably Casino Greg doesn't really like that pick. I don't think my daughter's going to like that pick very much. I believe she is going the other way. You might want to listen to her because she has done incredibly well in her bracket. she's going to join us here momentarily. She joined us last week to the amazement and surprise of a lot of our viewers and listeners about just how well she had done in the bracket. And I got to tell you, I was amazed. When she first made me aware of it, I kind of went, well, wait a minute. Does she really know? Is she reading this correctly? Is this number accurate? And we looked, looked around and did a little investigating and went, wow, this is pretty good stuff here. She's done well. So I think you'll be interested in what she has to say here when she joins us here in just a moment. I think tonight's game is going to be really, really good. I said it with the Duke-Houston game. I thought, I think Houston can beat Duke, but if they beat them, it's going to be close. I can see Duke winning by double digits. They were close to doing that with 30 seconds to go. So we'll see. I get the sense. I get the sense that this one is going to be a little closer. Here I say this, and it could be a blowout. I just don't get the sense that Florida. I'm a little skittish on Florida coming from behind again, particularly against a team like Houston that's got a really, really good defense. Now, Troy says he needs Houston to win and not cover. All right, Troy. I do too. That'd be good with me. I mean, I hate to be so cold, but I don't really care if Houston wins or not. Just cover for me, baby. That's all I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking. But, they're going to do that as a dog. They're going to probably cover. When you think they're Troy, I mean, if they win the game, they're going to cover because they're an underdog. But why listen to me? Because I have not done as well in my bracket. I haven't been able to pick as many winners. But last week, we brought my daughter on the program because her bracket was absolutely incredible. We bring her back again today. This is my daughter, Lucy Vogel, in Birmingham this morning. Lucy, how you doing today? Good to see you, honey.
I'm great. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited.
Well, a lot of our viewers and listeners wanted to know how your bracket is looking. They were absolutely blown away at the fact, correct me if I'm wrong, when we spoke last week, out of 24.4 million entries into the ESPN Tournament Bracket Challenge, you were in the 95th position. Is that correct?
That's correct. And then on Saturday night, I had picked Florida and Houston to win. And about 30 minutes after the Houston game ended, I refreshed my app, and now I'm at 14 in the world on this challenge. So
wow, there exciting. It is. Gurn Jr. has put so that's what you got sent from ESPN on Saturday night. You are now in the 14th position in the bracket challenge on ESPN out of 24.4 million. You will see your pick tonight. You're going with the Florida Gators tonight, correct?
Going with the Gators. Everybody root on the Gators tonight. So I know I've got the Gators, and then I was looking at the app, and I've got 3 people ahead of me, I think, in like the 3rd, 6th, and 7th place in the world who also picked Florida. So then it'll come down to points scored. So I said total points will be 182. So let's hope it's a high-scoring game.
Ooh, man, you need overtime. 182. I mean, geez.
We need some overtime.
I'm not sure there's going to be that many points scored in the game tonight, but I'm certainly not going to doubt you. But I will say this. If Florida wins and there's close to 182 points scored, I think you're going to be the winner. I will say that. You're taking a shot there. All right,
yeah.
so the entrant into our contest has the same pick that you have tonight, Casino Greg. He's a big fan of yours because, hey, if you win, he wins. So Greg is blowing up the chat line today. He's very excited about having the same pick that you do. All right, so let our viewers and listeners know, how did Saturday night go for you? You're watching Florida Auburn. Auburn's got a big lead at halftime. What are you thinking at halftime?
Oh, yeah. At halftime, I was thinking, oh, no, the Aubs are going to do it again. Florida's toast. I was a little bit nervous, and then second half was that was a lot of fun. I thought Houston-Duke game. I thought Duke was going to take it the whole time. So the end of that game, everybody was jumping around. Everybody was texting me, sending me pictures of my bracket. It's a lot of fun. Definitely get the madness behind March Madness now.
Yeah, I bet. Now, where were you watching these games on Saturday? I mean, did you have like the crowd with you? And what was going on?
The night kind of escalated. I started off with a couple friends, and then we headed over to a bar. Then we went to another place. So we kind of hopped around, and we got everybody on Saturday night. Everybody was going for Houston because they saw my bracket where we were watching it. So it was a lot of fun.
So how has a hubby been handling all this? I mean, I guess he's proud of it, but he's probably thinking deep down, I mean, my wife has a better bracket than I do. I mean, how's he been taking all this?
Yeah, I think he's kind of jealous because everybody's asking him about my bracket. It's the talk of the town. So I think he wishes it was his bracket. But luckily, our contest, I get to pick wherever we go to dinner. So I'll make sure to pick somewhere good.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a great deal you got working there. So what are the plans tonight? I mean, obviously you got to get focused in. You got to get your Gator chomp going, and you need some points scored. You don't need a lot of defense tonight.
Oh, yeah, and I was listening earlier about y'all talking about how good Houston's defense is. So let's hope they don't show up tonight. But
yeah,
we're going to watch it with some friends, probably get some wings going, and everybody's going to be going for the Gators.
Yeah. Okay. So she's got Florida tonight winning it all. And what's the point total again?
182.
182. How did you come up with that number?
Totally random.
Okay. I'm trying to think there again, you're going to need some overtime. I think you're going to need overtime to get it to 182, but you never know. We'll see what happens. The question that I've been getting from so many people, do you win anything if you happen to win it or finish in the top 10 or anything like that? How's that work?
So that's probably where hubby's been most concerned is what am I going to win? So he's been researching. Apparently, if Florida wins, I get entered into a pot of all the people who picked Florida. So it's kind of a lottery, which seems a little lame. But yeah, I think I just get bragging rights and hopefully maybe I'll win something. So I guess we'll see.
I guess we will. I know it's going to be an exciting night. We're going to be watching it as well and rooting on those Gators for you. So maybe you can be the overall grand champ. I will say this. I don't know this. I'm just giving an opinion. But I'll have to say, I don't think there's anybody else within the state of Alabama that is in better position than you are in this bracket challenge of 24.5 million people. I would have to think you've got the best bracket in the state of Alabama.
I would have to think so too. I was looking, you can look at all the leaderboards ahead of you, and everybody had Duke, everybody had Auburn ahead of me. So I think once the Aubs got out, the rest of Alabama did too. So
yeah, I think you might be right on that. So, hey, here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There again, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is my opinion, but the best bracket out of 24.5 million people right here in the state of Alabama, you are looking at her right now. Just happens to be my daughter, which makes it even more special. Yeah, exactly. All right, honey, we're rooting for you. We'll be checking in later tonight to see how well it's going for you and see if you can pull it all out. We're not yelling defense tonight. We need running. We need a lot of
a bunch of points. We need those threes like that Bama game.
Rain in threes. That's what they need tonight. All right, Lou. Thank you so much.
Go
Have a
Gators.
great day. Love you. All right, man. There you have it. 14th position. Man, I don't know. I would say nut doesn't fall far from the tree, but I think she did this all on her own. All right. Casino Greg wants to know if she was at the one of the wing places in Birmingham when the fight broke out. I saw that, Greg. A fight broke out after the Auburn Florida game at some wing joint in Birmingham. It was actually made the news. Wrote an article about that. So I don't know. Tippers were flaring, I guess, on that. So, man, great stuff here, man. We have gotten a lot covered here today. Our man Josh Harris, the Moneyline magician, he is delayed. A lot of flight delays today as well. I get it with this weather. My daughter was actually flying earlier today from down around the Fort Walton Destin area back to D.C., and I see she's made it back to the nation's capital basically on time. My wife was actually flying back in from D.C. last night into the Montgomery Regional Airport. A little weather delay there, but made it home safely about an hour or so after her scheduled arrival. But, hey, when the weather is such a factor, things like that can certainly make for some delays. I know Atlanta, from what I understand, Hartsfield has been experiencing a lot of delays over the last 24 hours. So I know they're getting that cleaned up or cleared up just so the travel can flow a little bit easier. A lot of rain, no doubt. Started yesterday, really about 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and it seems to have not let up all day. I'm gonna tell on myself when we get back. I mean, if I could have gotten this videotaped, I got a feeling there's some people out there that would have loved to have seen me trying to attempt something yesterday that just, I was so infuriated, but I kept my cool and we got it taken care of. I'll let you know what that's all about when we return from this quick timeout. Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air rallies for you. No matter the problem, Dixie will tackle it. They're licensed and trusted electricians, plumbers, air and garage door technicians are ready to win for you. From toilets to garbage disposals, circuit breakers to HVAC systems, Dixie never fumbles. Don't throw away your hard-earned money on second-string contracting companies. Score big with Dixie. After all, they are your biggest fan. Visit calldixie.com or dial them up locally at 262-2946.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Don't miss your chance to win big at Victoryland Casino. Play the latest, hottest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. Don't miss out on your free play. Stop by Player Rewards today and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. Come see why our players keep coming back. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, located off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. A couple of minutes to the top of the hour. I got to tell myself a little bit here today. Some people thought this was hilarious. Tobias out in Arizona wants to know, hey, is local man block your daughter's number? I'm pulling for Houston. Houston is too good defensively. Yeah, but local man doesn't want any part of my daughter the way she's been picking these games in the tournament, Tobias. But she does have the Gators. But she way too many points. If she gets in a tiebreaker, I don't like her chances there with the tiebreaker. But I'm with you. Houston defense, Tobias, really, really good. All right, so yesterday, and by the way, not to say I forgot about this, but today's my wife's birthday. If you see her, tell her happy birthday out there today. Let me tell you two quick things. I'm gonna tell her myself. So I went and bought her a birthday card. She was gone this weekend. She was up in DC. So I bought her a birthday card. Went and looked, and I've looked at all these birthday cards. Oh, this one's great. This is the best one. And so I got it. And, it's one of these, I like these funny ones. I don't like these real cheesy, romantic kind of stuff. So anyway, go pick this card out. Think it's cute and funny. Write my little message on there. Have it sitting on the bathroom counter this morning, because I get up before she does. And I had another little gift over there that I'd gotten her. And so I went down to get my second cup of coffee, and I saw her and I said, hey, happy birthday, blah, 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 and all that. She goes, oh, I love my gift and I love my card, but you gave me that same card before. And I went, what? I went, no way. She goes, yeah, you've given me that card before. And I'm just thinking, you got to be kidding me. And I said, well, let me see it. So she was busy and she said, I'll show it to you later on. I'm thinking, no way. And so I've just been bugged all morning long thinking, did I really give my wife the same card I gave her probably 5 or 6 years ago? She says I did. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I wrote into that card 5 or 6 years ago compared to what I wrote into that card today. Hope I didn't write the exact same thing. Can't believe I would or did. I just can't believe I bought the same card twice and didn't know it. But she says I did. I mean, what are the odds? Really? I mean, I can't remember every birthday card I've ever bought, but I can't believe I bought one years ago and bought it again 2 days ago. That's amazing. But let me tell myself about what happened yesterday. So it starts raining. Take the boys down to church yesterday. Just a little father-son outing. So I got the two boys. We're heading down there, as we always do. And I knew it was going to be a little rainy, but no big deal. Park in the same place that I always park. So the service is over, and it's really raining. It's coming down pretty good. So I'm kind of, we're kind of checking out the situation, figuring out what we're going to do, trying to convince them to go over there and get the car and pull it up, pick me up. No takers. I could tell the rain was not going to let up. So I said, I'm just going to take a run for it. Now, my vehicle, which I absolutely love, many, many features of it that I love. One of them is the keyless entry. So I can leave my keys in the car and lock it and then use the combination to get back in. And I don't have to carry those bulky keys in my pocket. Hate that. I hate keys in my pocket. Can't stand them. So I love this feature, keyless entry. So I hit the keys, lock the door, good to go, but service is over and it is raining sideways. So I finally just said, okay, I'm going to make a run for it. Going to hit the keyless entry. We're good to go. So I run over there. It's raining. I'm hitting those numbers. Nothing's happening. Hitting those numbers again. Nothing's happening. I'm wiping off the keypad. Nothing's happening. I mean, I got on a coat and tie. I'm getting drenched. I'm just thinking I'm getting soaked here. I can feel the top of my head just full. I feel like I jumped into a swimming pool. One of my sons runs over there. I said, can you try to get this thing open? Of course, one swipe, he's got it open. I'm thinking, what did he do that I couldn't do? But I am panicking there, trying to get this keyless entry open. I did contain myself. I did not say anything that I should not have said in my ill attempts to get the car door open and not being able to successfully do it. Not that I was right next door to a church or my church, but I just shouldn't have done it anyway, and I didn't. But if someone could have videotaped me trying to get that door open and the frustration I was experiencing while doing it, that would have probably been very popular on YouTube, I would imagine. But that's kind of how my day went yesterday. Got my wife the same birthday card that I purchased for years ago. I've not seen that card yet. She's going to show it to me later today. and then just getting completely sideways trying to open up my car door with the keyless entry that obviously doesn't work as well when it rains or the pad is wet. I did not know that. I know that now. Won't let that happen again. Okay, great day today. So thank you so much for everybody joining us here on the program. Of course, Gurn Sr. with some great Masters and Final Four memories. My daughter Lucy, who's number in the 14th position of the ESPN Tournament Bracket Challenge out of $24.5 million. The Phantoms Daily Dawg. Gurn Jr. with his 777 topic, Will, and his input into the program. Always appreciate that. Tomorrow, we will talk with Brian Matthews of auburnsports.com, Travis Ryer of Ryer on YouTube, and Talking Tide. Hopefully, maybe we can reschedule some of our other guests to tomorrow or later in the week. We had a little issues with them today with some travel and weather issues, but certainly understand that. Thank you so much. Hey, always hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. Helps out with the algorithm, helps us make this production even better for you to enjoy. And, of course, our good friends at Yellowhammer News and yellowhammernews.com. You can check us out there each and every day. Also, you can check us out on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Spotify. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Barry's back tomorrow as well. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much. We will talk to you tomorrow.